Hello, you're watching Hibstock or listening to Hibstock. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
All right.
Callum.
Good evening.
And Stuart.
All right.
How you guys getting on? Dave, start with yourself.
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, good. Callum, good weekend?
Very good, yes. Thoroughly enjoyable. Everything seems to have gone right for a change with the football sport in general, so all good.
And Stuart, you're doing well as well?
Yes, I fine, mate. Just normal Sunday. Getting on with it.
So yeah, like I said earlier, if you've got any questions, get them in the chat and we'll kind of go through them at the end. But on today's show, we're going to be talking about the Aberdeen game. And then we're maybe getting a bit excited, but we're going to be having a talk about Europe. Let's run with it. Have a talk about Europe, and then we're going to be talking about the Ross County game, obviously next weekend as well. So have a look ahead to that. So let's start with the Aberdeen game. I've got the teams here. Callum, your reaction when you seen it was sort of the same team that was sort of lining up. Obviously, Nisbet still on the bench. What was your kind of reaction to no Nisbet in the same team?
I was kind of split. I think there's an argument that you go with a winning team, but then at the same time, it was 0-0 last week until Nisbet and Porto came on. So there would have been an argument for one or two of them starting. But yeah, you can't really complain. I was happy enough with the starting lineup.
Dave, I know you kind of messaged me about it. You were a bit frustrated to see effectively a £3-4 million player on the bench.
I didn't think it made any sense. Obviously, hindsight and all that's fine, but I think when you've only got 11 games left of the season, you're rejecting, 2.6, whatever, for a player, then he kind of needs to play. Otherwise, it's saying a lot about how he's maybe been attitude-wise in that. I don't know if his head's kind of gone, or it could just be completely down to the fact that we won our last couple of games and the manager was just being completely loyal to Doidge, which is fair enough to an extent, but Nisbet's better than Doidge. So I would expect your star striker to be playing, especially when there is so little game time left and it was a massive game.
Do you not think it comes down to the formation he wants to play, though?
Possibly, because Nisbet's obviously not the best and he's talled up front, so that definitely comes into it as well. But again, surely you should be trying to build a formation in that round, a player that you're rejecting 3 million bids for, rather than dropping him.
Yeah, I mean, Stuart, and Stuart, I mean, like, say, Nisbet's a really talented player, he's the top goal scorer in the league. Him not playing, it does, okay, we're a win-win team and it's kind of worked without him, but it does just open up questions in terms of his attitude and stuff, which is probably not the case, but just opens up those questions if he doesn't play.
Yeah, well, first of all, I was fine. We all spoke about it. I was fine with keeping us, settled side, and it's paid off. But we don't know what went on behind the scenes, Gav, and maybe unsettled the laddie, and the boss knows that, so he's just said to him, "Listen, we'll give you a couple of weeks on the bench, and you can come on." They've maybe had the chat, we don't know. We're always, sitting around here or chatting and on the text and that, and we're all saying, "Oh, he should be playing, he shouldn't be playing," but he might have. We've spoke to him, and he's only young, so he's probably thought this. They've just said put him aside and let him calm down, because he came on yesterday and he was okay, but he never done great. So he's had a lot in his mind.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously that was the team we kind of went. It looks like it was kind of like a 3-5-2. Murphy a bit of a free roll behind Boyle and Doidge up top. Or that's the way I seen it anyway. But I don't know. Like I say, we'll kind of get into that in a bit. But the first chance of the game, Cadden had the first chance. It was a mistake from Greg Lee. His loose back pass was picked up on by Cadden, and Aberdeen keeper came out and kind of saved it. Callum, do you think Cadden could have done? But obviously done really well in terms of anticipating it and getting in, but could have done better with the shot?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the more I've seen it, the more you look at it and go, wrap your left foot around that. His body shape and everything's set up for him to put it past him on his left-hand side. It's a decent save. even when you look at it again, it looks as if he could have just stepped to the side of him as well. He's just kind of, it's clearly, heavily on his right foot, but it just looks as if it's an opportunity to use your left foot there and place it to the left-hand side of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones that when it first happened, I kind of thought it's a good save for the keeper. Watching the back in the highlights, yeah, maybe should have done a bit better. McCrory with the first chance of the game for Aberdeen. Ball played to Michael Ferguson, played it along the edge of the box. Good save from Rocky. I mean, kind of palmed it away and then a clear defence before Aberdeen player could respond to it. And Irvine, so then another chance for Hibs. Irvine with a lovely weighted ball through to Boyle. Maybe just a bit too wide, and like I say, another save from the keeper. Dave, your kind of thoughts on this chance and another great ball from Jackson Irvine.
It's quality. It's exactly what we've obviously been missing in the middle of the park. That kind of, you see Joe Newell sometimes pulls it off, but if you've not got Scott Allen on the park, them type of passes want to happen. And that's ideal for when you've got Boyle up top. You can kind of bend his run, like you said a few times, and then run onto chances like that. And it went out a wee bit wide, but at least he got it in target and that. But it's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah,
wee bit of imagination in your football.
Yeah, the fact that Irvine's got it in the ball just past the centre circle, and he's kind of taken a couple of touches and then played a great ball through and we're in. Just that kind of it seemed like Hibs were kind of set up well to kind of get in behind Aberdeen.
How many times in the last couple of weeks you've seen the ball, like say Boyle maybe be further out on the right, but then he's just getting the ball to him, like heat height, chest height, like no, play it along the ground in front of him, run on, and it works.
Stuart, I know you've kind of spoken about in the past, but so you're playing as your sort of preferred position was a striker. What have you made of Boyle's runs and sort of he seems to be bending his runs quite a bit and eager to get in behind in quite a few games?
Yeah, well, we've said that there must have been something wrong with the guy the last few weeks, few games, because the gaffer came out and said that he had personal problems. And how many times was he caught offside the last couple of months playing? And now he's just, it's as if he's switched on now. He's bending the runs and he's getting in, especially the second, which we'll talk about later. But it's maybe the position as well, because he was playing through the middle rather than on the wing. Mm-hmm. What he's been doing the last few months. So he maybe prefers that. I don't know, but he's totally came alive again, which is brilliant.
Callum, it's great to see us playing these balls in behind, and obviously Boyle is kind of bending his runs well, getting in behind. But why have we not been playing those kind of balls for Nisbet?
Good question. I think yesterday showed it was a clear tactic as well, because as Stuart says, you'll come on to it, but the one for Doidge, the chance for Doidge with Irvine's ball over the top, you watch Doidge beforehand, he's pointing to go. Clearly it's something that they're currently working on to get round the back of the defence. I don't know if they've pinpointed Aberdeen in particular for that, the slow turning back line or something, but it worked. We got in behind them so many times yesterday, which I know, Gavin, you've been frustrated with the number of chances we sometimes create. We created so many chances yesterday, maybe never always got something out of it, like a clear shot away or something, but number of times we got in behind them was really promising.
Yeah. It was great to see that. I don't know if Jackson Irvine's been a big part of it. Obviously, Scott Allen's been out. Newell and Gogic, that's no kind of their game, playing balls in behind like that. So maybe it's just sort of been waiting for having the right midfield, but it's great to see it kind of is working just now. It's great to see us doing it.
And you've not had Lewis Stevenson playing either to play his through balls too.
Yeah, another great ball, which we'll come to in a bit. And Dave, a minute later though, Hibs get into the box. We kind of spoke a few weeks ago about frustration with Murphy always cutting inside. 2 games in a row, he's went out round outside, and he's won penalties.
Yeah, and again, that's my papa keeps saying, so run it, folk, be direct.
Is that me or your real papa?
You're my adopted papa. But I'm my real papa. You say it as well, though. Everybody says it. Be direct, run at them. That's what you want to see. It's exciting. And he goes round them, and for me, it's not a penalty. But again, he gives the referee decision to make. rather than just
Aye.
fucking standing the defender up and then just dinking it in the box or something, or it getting cleared. Like we've went round, and it was definitely positive.
Yeah, we sat here after the St Johnstone game, didn't we, and talked about the frustration of Murphy and the thing that he done with running across the front of the box, and we spoke about he's clearly a good player. If he was more direct like he does occasionally, then it would be a totally different player for us. And yesterday shows it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it was Murphy, like I said, get to the byline. He whips in his cross, and Ferguson, to me, I know Dave doesn't seem to agree, goes in for a challenge and kind of blocks it, but is late and comes into contact with Murphy. For me, it was a penalty. What was your guys' thoughts, Callum? Starting, do you think it was a penalty?
I thought it was a penalty. I mean, I suppose the only argument is, does the referee not give it because the ball's going out of play? But he clatters him. He does clatter him. I mean, the other angle shows he clearly pretty much stands on his foot. So that, to me, the only way it's not a penalty is if you're not giving it because the ball's going to go out of play.
He wasn't in control of the ball at all, really.
But then you see penalties get given
in.
in the penalty box for pulling when the player's nowhere near the ball.
Yeah, no, you've got a point there. I just think it was soft. Like, in fact, I don't even think it was soft. I just don't think it was a penalty. But I'll take it because it doesn't happen every week. So,
Stuart, you think it was a penalty?
Well, I was telling you before we went live that I was watching that clip from the corner flag. I watched it about 100 times because it just kept on looping, and I was like, I couldn't make my decision, but it was behind, and the guy came over and took Murphy, so it was difficult. But where the referee was looking, he had a great view. So I would imagine that, as Callum said, the only way that they could have maybe not given it was because he kicked the ball out. He tried to play it with the outside his right boot, and he hit his toe and it went straight into the side netting. So that's probably the only way that Hibs might not have got. But he did hit him. I don't know how hard, but everybody, all the strikers go down now. That's modern football.
Well, exactly. If you saw Salah's penalty today, you don't have to make much contact to get a penalty.
I can see in the comments here, King of the North 31, aka Billy, saying it's a foul anywhere else in the pitch. It's a penalty, so he sort of feels it's a penalty. So Boyle steps up to take the penalty, second penalty in a week in the week, and scores. We'll talk a bit more about Boyle in a second. Obviously, we've kind of already touched on, but obviously he's going to be one of the main talking points, man of the match performance from him. And later on in the first half, it was high press from Chris Cadden. He kind of won the ball, and kind of his tackle kind of meant the ball fell to Murphy. Murphy just sort of held up the ball and then played a lovely ball through. Boyle again bending his run, stays on side. I think it's number 33 for Aberdeen. I went to go and check who that was, keeping him on side. A great save. But Stuart, do you feel that, I mean, obviously another chance for Boyle's in 1-on-1, should he have done better with this one?
Well, thing is, if you're a centre forward or an attacking player, you're going to have a few chances. He scored 2 out of 4, 5. So he's maybe had 4 chances, 50% ratio. He's done okay. Mind you, the other one was a penalty. Centre forwards, they're you've just got to take your chances. I still think that he could have scored, but it's like, as long as he's there, that's what I'm happy with, that he's actually making the runs. And if you're making chances, you'll score, and that's what we've done yesterday. So if you're getting caught offside, you're getting pulled back, and it's you're not having any chances. So that's the difference from, say, 3-4 weeks ago. We never had it. We weren't making chances.
Yeah. Dave, the keeper makes it himself big, and it's quite a good save. But do you want to see better from Boyle?
I just want to see him lift it. He's done it a few times. He's done it to Joe Lewis at Easter Road. He lifted it. Was it last season?
Yeah.
Just to be dinking at him, and that's all I needed to do there. But it's like what Stuart says, it's the fact that he's making the runs. We're pulling him out. There's a lot of positives to take for that, and if you've got a striker who is making that but is still taking a couple of these chances, they're not going to finish everything, or they wouldn't be at Hibs, then fair enough. Works, doesn't it?
Callum, I know you have been impressed with Murphy kind of kicking on and the improvement in his form. Obviously won the penalty and a great ball through here. Your thoughts on Murphy's performance and his involvement in this chance here?
Looking like the player that we thought we were getting. As we said before, he's had niggly injuries, which has been part of his career. But I think if he gets a run in the team like he is now, then he's definitely going to create stuff with us, and he's confident as well at the minute. So that little ball, I'm trying to remember, was it the goal against Hearts? That was a very similar goal to that Boyle chance, except we scored. Holt scored it. The one that Holt scored, and he done the incredible Holt celebration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really similar to the through ball and the finish, except obviously Holt scored. But yeah, no, I thought Murphy was excellent yesterday, Gav.
Yeah, it's great to see. Like I say, it's been a bit of obviously had some injuries in there, but a bit of a slow start from Murphy. So great to see him gonna get into that player we're kind of hoping to see. Obviously, kind of was scoring goals for Fernand in his loan spell. The second half of last season. So hopefully we can get, like I say, can add a few more goals into his game as well. And we can really get excited about the player we've got there. And I mean, Dave, I remember we done the review of the Aberdeen game earlier on the season, the 0-0 at Easter. Was it 0-0? Aye, or was it 1-0 Aberdeen? It's 1-0 Aberdeen.
1-0 Aberdeen penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1-0 Aberdeen. That was it. Obviously, Gogic missed that day because he didn't have COVID, but he had a positive test and then 2 negative tests. But got to be safe. So Gogic missed that day. Irvine wasn't there, and we kind of spoke about how Aberdeen just muscled us out of the game. McCrory in particular was impressive that day. Very physical Aberdeen midfield just sort of bossed us about. That wasn't the case yesterday with Gogic and Irvine, though, was it?
Nah, that was a stroll, wasn't it? Effectively, like we bossed that game, in my opinion, from start to finish. We didn't let them bully us at all, which has happened a few times this season. It's not just been Aberdeen. Motherwell came in Easter Road and done it as well. So that didn't happen, and that's the thing you get for Jackson Irvine as well. Like I get it through balls and that, but he gives you an aerial presence. He's like much more physical than most centre mids. So
Dave, we put them under pressure so much. All they did was put the long ball, the high ball into the box.
they did, or
That's
shots.
all they done.
Yeah, they didn't have.
I can't remember another Aberdeen team like it was playing like that before. They used to put you under pressure, but that's all they done yesterday was the high ball, and either Rocky was catching it or it was getting headed away. So our midfield put them so much under pressure, which was brilliant.
But it's not much different from what Aberdeen normally are, to be honest, except they'll get a goal and then they just sit on the lead. And McInnes's team has been so good at just sitting on it, totally stifling the game, almost time wasting from the minute they score, and that's it. And my one worry going into yesterday was don't concede first, because that's what they'll do. So yeah, once we got the goal, I was really quite confident.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we spoke about obviously was there in terms of that midfield and a better midfield performance was Jackson Irvine. But second half he goes down. Dave, you had to look away. I think you were like 2 seconds behind our stream, and when you heard it was coming, you kind of looked away so you wouldn't see him landing on when the replays were coming up and things like that with him landing on a really awkward landing. Stuart, how big a miss would Jackson Irvine be if he's out for a wee bit?
Didn't even think about it, because he is playing like Scott Allen played when Scott Allen was at the peak, putting these balls. How many goals has he made since he's came? 3, 4. And the other chances that he's put through, his assists are unbelievable. He sees passes that a lot of other players don't, and he would be a massive loss. And I don't know if there's any update. If Hibs came out with any update on his elbow, it wasn't his elbow, it was his What was it again? What did he have again? Was it his elbow?
His shoulder. But Jack Ross said it was just
his shoulder.
Yeah, Jack Ross said after the game apparently that it was just an impact injury. So hopefully,
right,
it's not too bad.
Yeah, but fingers crossed, just an impact injury because he's been such a big part of the team, such a big part of why we're doing so well just now. So I would be a big miss. So McGuinness came on for him and Louis came on for Doig, but we're talking about these passes through. Louis was replacing Irvin in terms of the balls in behind Callum. You sort of hinted at earlier on.
Yeah, and I think I said that yesterday, didn't I? Irvin must have given him his magic dust when he went off and Lewis came on, because what a ball that was. He didn't have to get it off the ground, which probably helped. But as you know, I'm a big Lewis fan, so delighted for him to see him do that straight away.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm a fan of his as well. Brilliant.
Aye, fantastic ball through. And like I say, Boyle, third time lucky. Dave, I know you spoke about it earlier on, but third time lucky. He's found himself 1-on-1 with the keeper, and this time he was putting it away through the keeper's legs. Good finish.
Yeah, and that's when his chances earlier on in the match didn't matter anymore, because we didn't pay for missing chances.
Yeah,
we kept going. We were confident. We weren't really sitting on the 1-0. We still had a few chances in the second half. We got the second, and it was comfortable. Exactly what we needed to do. So, and what a ball.
And it was perfectly weighted as well, because it was only when I watched it back on Sports Scene this morning that it's actually you forget that Boyle doesn't even take a touch. He runs round it, lets it roll, and then finishes it. So the weight on it was absolutely bang on.
Did you see wee Boyle he just had a wee point just before he made his run? He pointed to wee Louis and bent his run, pointed, and he even shouted. You could hear him on the video, and he's brilliant. Great ball.
Yeah, great ball. Great to see, like say, you picked him out. Great to see Boyle, noticing the opportunities for those runs and shouting for them. Stuart, we spoke about Boyle having those sort of two chances earlier on, and maybe could have done better with them. He's got this third one now. Do you think confidence is a big thing for forwards, and he's obviously kind of been out wide the last couple of seasons? This is him back as a striker. Do you think with more and more confidence, obviously 4 goals in 3 games, we're going to see him start to put away these chances more often?
Yeah, he will be, because he's seen a big difference. He was, but there was videos we were saying that she wants to be a hat-trick for her daddy, and he was getting interviewed, and he was saying that he's not been getting interviewed the last few games, after the game, and he's been down. It's like he's back to his funny self again, and something's been taken off his shoulders, because he's enjoying his football again. Because there's definitely, how many times we've been talking about him, he's been running the ball out the park, he's not been able to get the ball down. I don't know what's been wrong with him, but he's 100% back now, and I think he'll be scoring a few the next few weeks.
Yeah, great to see him sort of stepping up, especially like say he's been given an opportunity up front, and he's definitely taken it. So fair play to him for that. Like I say, the only sort of other chance we had here was there was a deflection which led to a chance from Aberdeen. It came off the bar, but I think, Callum, that would have been a bit unfair. Hibs were very deserving of their clean sheet, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think apart from that, the chance that they had earlier on in the first half that you mentioned that Marciano saved, that was the only one they really had. So, and it was actually Hanlon, wasn't it, that it came off to hit the bar. So yes, solid. I think we've not taken away from Hibs. I think we've played Aberdeen at a good time. They've just changed their forward line, and the likes of Hornby that I was kind of championing him to come to Hibs, and it sounded like Hibs were interested in him. He doesn't look sharp. Apparently the Aberdeen fans were destroying him after their game last week, and then yesterday he wasn't really involved at all. So he's definitely not sharp yet. Yeah.
We spoke about the sort of clean sheet. Obviously, like I say, good points about Aberdeen's forward line. They've still got one of their strikers stuck in Switzerland. What a shame. But I mean, is it as simple, Callum? Is McGregor's came in, or do you think there's more to the improvements? Obviously, since the St Johnstone game, we limited Rangers to hardly any chances, and then, like say, clean sheets after that. What's your kind of thoughts on the defensive improvements? Has it just been McGregor?
I mean, it definitely looks like it, doesn't it? I mean, the commanding centre half. You have to wonder if he had been in the back line against St Johnstone. 2 of their goals were from free kicks. Does that make a difference straight away? And I think it's just his experience. Port was a young lad, and there's jokes about Dad's army with the back four we've got and stuff. But it's just his commanding presence. He's a leader, and to me, I like Paul Hanlon, but to me, McGregor is the captain out there.
Yeah, he's been leading by example and deserving of his place in the team. Dave, has it been a bit to do with the tactics as well? Though obviously the change to the 3-5-2. Does Jack Ross deserve credit for the defensive improvement as well?
Yeah, well, if we beat Aberdeen 2-0 at Easter Road, which we did, then Jack Ross deserves credit because he's had an awful lot of stick, and deservedly so. So we can set aside all the stick that he had for the semi-finals and that, and fair enough, everything that was said is still true. Like, it's not good enough, it needs to get better. But at the end of the day, we're sitting third in the league, and he delivered at the weekend, like, flawlessly. Like, there was, apart from the injury to Jackson Irvine, that game went completely according to plan.
He got everything right yesterday, to be fair, Tom. And we was talking about Lewis coming on. I mean, look at that. Some of us were saying it's a bit strange taking Doig off, bringing Lewis on, and the first thing he does is that. Jack Ross must have been standing on the sidelines thinking, I just can't get anything wrong today.
Stuart, your thoughts on the change to 3-5-2 and McGregor coming back in?
I love Big Daz. I think I've said it before on our chats, Gav. He throws his body in front of every ball, and that's what was missing the last, since probably the Hearts game at Hampden. There was nothing. There was no fight at the back. We were letting the players go through, or we were trying to just usher them out the 18-yard box away for goal. He doesn't do that, and that's the difference. And I think now he's got himself together again, and he's putting tackles in. So's McGinn. So I think it stems from McGregor that is getting them going, and you didn't have to have the captain's armband on your arm. He does lead by example, and I think he does a shouting probably for Paul Hanlon.
Dave, we've been a lot. I know when there was the whole thing after the St Johnstone game and the whole Jack Ross out was kind of starting to go, which I thought was a bit crazy. I'll be honest. Said that at the time, but one of the criticisms was he needs to win against a big team. He needs a big statement win. Was this a big statement win for you, especially with everything, in terms of getting a breathing space with Aberdeen?
It's a massive moment in the season. It's not as big as obviously winning a semi-final against Hearts, or like even just winning a cup that you're favourites for. Obviously, it's quite as big as those two moments, but it could have been season defining, like us getting that wee bit of breathing space. A lot of pressure on Derek McInnes and Aberdeen now, and we've got confidence getting into the next few games before the run of the split. So massive game at like a massive point in the season. So yeah, he did. Like I say, he deserves credit. Like, I'm not going to hit. Like, I've slated him recently. Boring football, shite results. We went on a wee bad spell, so I need to give him credit where he's due. So
yeah, Callum, there was a lot of kind of pressure on Ross and the team after the St Johnstone game. Like I said earlier, good performance and limited Rangers, obviously, although we did lose that game, and then now three wins on the bounce. What's your kind of thoughts been on the reaction from the Hibs team and the manager?
Definitely showing that the manager hasn't lost the dressing room, if anyone was thinking that a few weeks ago. I said at the time that it was crazy to want him out, and I don't think this is an opportunity for anyone to sit and go, I was right, and be smug about it, because we've not done anything yet. You know, we've still got 11 games left in the season. If we go on and finish third, then brilliant. You know, that's the opportunity for people to say, see, we just had to have a bit of patience with them. But yeah, yes, that is Aberdeen are the team in the league for me that we need to be making a statement against. Celtic and Rangers, fair enough, but in reality, even if they're playing badly, they've got players that can do something in a game with a bit of quality and win them a match. Aberdeen are, the team that we want to be toppling, essentially. So for us to go out and do that yesterday shows we're heading the right direction.
Yeah, Stuart, even with Aberdeen out of form at the moment, that was a big statement win, wasn't it, yesterday?
Oh yeah, and as Dave says, Jack Ross was under pressure, and he got it right, which was fantastic. Because if we did get beat yesterday, Christ, we'd be out for him. And it's just a pity that we've never done anything in these two semi-finals to get us, a wee bit of something to, because I still think if we beat Hearts, we would have had a good chance to beat Celtic, because they were poor at that final. And then the St Johnstone game, we could have had something to look forward to. So Jack Ross was under pressure, but he got it right. And as Dave says, you've got to congratulate the guy. He was hurting as well with these bad performances. So I think that showed in his interviews after the game. So it's just good that we've maybe got over the hurdle now with the bad games. Aberdeen are having them, and maybe Livingston might have them now because they've had a good run. So it might be our turn, hopefully.
Yeah, a great win. A clean sheet. I get, the team that are going to finish closest to us at the end of the season. To get that 3 points ahead, gap from them, a big win at a big time of the season when a lot of questions have been asked only, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So the thing is, we're not going to get carried away with ourselves. But moving on from the Aberdeen game, who do we want in Europe? Dave, have you got your passport up to date? Is it in date, your passport?
I think it's in date. I can't remember the last time I got my passport photo taken though, so I probably should check, but it's not like we'll be fucking allowed to go anyway.
That'll be the thing.
Yeah.
That'll be the thing. We'll qualify for Europe and we'll not be able to go.
Yeah.
I read today, actually, interestingly, UEFA are considering regionalising the competition, so to make it more possible for fans to be there.
So we could be playing English teams instead.
English, French, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Still
fun. You like to get in a plane and go and watch Hibs or Scotland abroad. That's.
The good thing is, though, if from the way it's working, it does look like there's a good chance that the Scottish Cup isn't going to be finished this season. So it looks like that European spot will go in the league. So third place will essentially mean that you go straight into the Europa League playoff. And even if you lose that, you then drop into the group stages of the new Conference League, which would mean you'd have European football till at least Christmas.
What a thought. I mean, if it's not till Christmas, we can maybe get a wee bit excited about potentially going away somewhere. If there's games up until Christmas, we can hope that the vaccines are kind of getting rolled out and maybe. So I mean,
if we can't travel, you can come to the bar, Gav. You can come get David in here.
So Dave, I mean, are you starting to believe that Europe's kind of really on the cards for Hibs this season?
I think it'll happen. I think we'll finish third or fourth. I can't see us finishing any lower than that. But I want third because I want that guaranteed European spot. Like until Christmas, that would be class. It's never happened in my lifetime. So I know it would be maybe the Europa Conference, but even just having that one-off big game if we finish third against somebody to go into the group stages, that would be phenomenal.
Imagine we won.
Oh, Jesus.
Imagine getting into the group stages. I know we're getting way ahead of yourself, but
let's do it. It's fun. Let's get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. But imagine if we were into if we did get a good game. We played well and we got into the actual group stages. Oh,
Because then you're guaranteed at least one sort of big team then, aren't you? And then, yeah, so at least 6 games. And the thing is, I remember that the couple of times that Aberdeen made the group stages, the money they generated those seasons was tremendous for the television money and everything.
Is
And
it no 10 million, Callum?
something like that, Stuart. Yeah. So what a different straight away. That's got to be what Ron Gordon's seeing, getting us into these group stages to start making the money.
Yeah, it's the financial thing is something that we could really get excited about. But I think also, in terms of getting excited about fans, about I don't know, like a PSV Eindhoven or something like that, away from home would just be amazing, or something. Yeah, I mean it's Callum, it's kind of ridiculous that we're looking to finish third for the first time. Is it 16 years since Tony Mowbray achieved it? It's something that like a club like Hibs should be doing enough every season or every second season, not once every 16 years.
Yeah, and that's what we need to make. This is where I've got slightly annoyed with the whole argument about Jack Ross out, because we were sitting fourth when that was all the main argument. We've been fourth. I'm 39. We've been fourth 4 times, or fourth or higher 4 times in my lifetime. I mean, for a club the size of Hibs, that's terrible. I mean, it really is bad. So now we are sitting there, we need to enjoy it, and it's now about putting ourselves in the position that Aberdeen have been in for the last 7 or 8 years, making it consistent, not having that one season and then dropping off. We need to build on it. Hearts will be back in the league next year. So we really need to. And if third place will mean us getting Jackson Irvine on a permanent deal as well. So,
yeah, I mean, obviously
that's one player that have to.
Sure.
I'm just saying, that's one player that have to give. Jackson Irvine. We don't know what's happening with his 6-month deal, and if we're wanting to push on, we need the best players, and he's one of them now.
And he'll be eyeing up the World Cup next year, so he's got to be thinking about playing regularly. So if he enjoys himself here over this next couple of months, and we can get a good deal to him, then he'll be looking at, especially with Boyle being here as well now. I think the Australia manager might quite like that the two of them. You've seen a bit of link up between them, so that might he might be quite happy for Irvine to continue playing his football here as well.
Yeah, Dave, I mean, it's a bit of we kind of, I did put the question to Jack Ross at a press conference why it was only a deal to the end of the season, and Jack Ross kind of gave a kind of political answer about how, it's something that they're going to see if it's a good fit for both and all that sort of stuff, and look at the end of the season and there's scope to hopefully extend it. But I mean, if we were in Europe, obviously the European sort of game's a good platform for them. The guaranteed of group stage football and the financial thing the financial position Hibs would be in with Europe ahead, it would definitely put us in a much better position of keeping Jackson Irvine, wouldn't it? Third place.
Yeah, and obviously the Nisbet money we'll get in the summer as well. So, but he's a must sign straight away, and probably try and get him on a deal early, sooner rather than later as well. Because if he keeps performing the way he is, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody like Celtic just was there, right, come here, like free transfer, like you didn't want that to happen.
It's a no risk for a team, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that happen with Malumbu, who done really well at Kilmarnock, and his deal was coming up, and Celtic were like, all right, we'll have you.
Yeah.
And he ended up back on loan at them, and obviously he's back at them now. But it's an example of, we'll give somebody a short-term deal, and then it kind of backfiring because they head off to the old firm. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Stuart, you mentioned about sort of trips away with Scotland and Hibs in the past. Have you got a favourite sort of trip away?
Let me see. The one, it wasn't great, but it was away to Prague. Jeez, that infamous 6-4-0. That was amazing. The trips are always good. Down at Wembley, that was good as well. But Europe, you want to go away, you want to get in a plane and with watching your team rather than watching. It's okay playing, somebody down in England and whatever. If you've got say if we got Villa, I don't know, we'll just make up a team, right? If you're a mediocre team, we got them in that league. It's not the same just going down to Birmingham.
I can't help thinking about the John McGinn game though. That's all I could think about if that was that.
I know. It would. That would be good. But no, the actual getting away and having a wee party for 5 nights, and away to the sunshine and watching a game in Spain, some game that'd be brilliant. It really would. But no, there's been a few for Scotland, Gav, that I've enjoyed.
Callum, I know you mentioned about Hibs only finishing fourth or better 4 times in your lifetime, but have you been able to get away to Europe with Hibs?
Unfortunately not, and it's something my mates love to wind me up about because nearly all of them and my dad done Greece a couple of years ago when we were there with Lennon, so obviously that was a great result out there as well. So they had I got sent 3 days of pictures and videos, and it's still regularly brought up in the group chats that I wasn't there and the rest of them were. So I know they had a brilliant trip for that one.
It's something that I wasn't able to afford a few years ago. Basically with uni and stuff, I've put myself in a bad financial position in the past, and lockdown's been really good for me because outgoing's been a lot better. I've been working all the way through. I've got a bit of savings there now. I've got the money to go away, and if we get into Europe and we can't go away, I'll be.
I know.
I better not swear. Dave, how would you feel about Hibs talk on tour?
Well, I'd be there, mate. I didn't go last time either because I was skint. Or I said I was going to go, and then just kept buying stupid shit like I say, all the time with my money, or buying too many trainers.
I was going to say Europe or 10 pairs of trainers.
So I'll.
Dave,
but
Tell the truth. You're actually in your work.
it looks like it. It's like after so.
I don't think his shop has as many pairs of trainers as that.
I'd be there 100%. Gone.
Yeah, aye. Like I say, we're going to kind of move on to questions, but get your questions in the chat, but also get some of your favourite memories away with Hibs in Europe, and we'll read some of them out as well. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things that come, with finishing third. Yeah, the financial thing from finishing third in the league, but also Europe. Also, it kind of makes a statement about where Hibs want to be, and gives us a real opportunity to kick forward. So, we're in a good position. Aberdeen are 5 points behind us with a game in hand, but the game in hand is at Parkhead. Celtic seem to be back on form, so hopefully that 5 points stays the 5 points, and it gives us a bit of a buffer to kind of try and outdo them in terms of form between now and the end of the season. And I mean, looking at the games that are coming up, I think that is possible. And talking about the games coming up, the next game we've got, segue.
Seamless, Gav.
Seamless is Ross County. I'll get my wee graphic up here. Callum, your thoughts on Ross County this season?
Well, they've been a bit all over the place, haven't they? I mean, they obviously had the bounce when Big Yogi came in, but they seem to have slipped back again the last few results. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Obviously, we've got revenge to try and get for the game at Christmas time, and I think this is a real test for us now. We've had these good, 4 wins out of the last 5 games. We've just beaten Aberdeen. Is this a game that the Hibs were used to would lose? So, this to me, if we can go out and after getting that great result against Aberdeen, back it up by continuing to get the victories, then yeah, it just shows what a good place we're in.
Yeah, Stuart. I mean, we're definitely in a different place from like I say, with the new signings coming in and the form we're in. We're in a different place from the team that lost 2-0 just after Christmas, aren't we?
Yeah, and as Callum says, this will be the game that we find out if we're back, because it's usually these wee shitty games that we go back to our normal self again. So hopefully that we go and beat Ross County, because you don't know what you're getting with them. they're good some weeks, and then the next
next game week they're getting hammered. So no, I think is it, I never noticed because I can't see the graph. Is it at home or away, Gav? I never noticed.
It's away.
Is it away? Sorry, I thought it was I couldn't see.
It's a hard shift going away up there, and it's not as if I was listening to Stuart Kettlewell
The last manager.
and he was saying when he comes down to Central Belt, when he used to come down with Ross County, he was saying that he was leaving at 7 a.m.
To get down here
because they couldn't stay overnight in a hotel. And he says it was hard going. And then it was right back up the road right after the game. And he says that's where the away form was shown with COVID. So I don't know what we're doing. Can we stay at a hotel, or are we just leaving at 6, 7 in the morning away up the road and having to do the same? So it's going to be a hard shift.
Yeah, definitely going to be. It's always a tough play. Like say, you have to kind of think about what time the players are getting up, and it's a long way up there. The game I was fortunate enough to comment on Hibs TV. We left a lot later than the team, and it was still leaving. At like 1 in the afternoon. It was, it's a lot, and it's a lot. You're getting back like 1, 2 in the morning. It's crazy. But I mean,
was that
Dave, obviously
nil game, Gav? Hey, Gav.
No, it was 2-1 them. They beat us 2-1.
Which makes that journey home even longer.
Yeah. But I mean, Ross Stewart obviously has moved on to Sunderland, Dave, but Ollie Shaw, their top goal scorer, Yogi's a manager. Just sort of quick looking at the recent run of form. They lost 5-0 to Rangers, 2-1 to Motherwell. They did beat Hamilton 2-1 away from home and lost 2-0 at home to Dundee United. Again, probably not the worst time to play Ross County, and in terms of where Hibs are, should be a much different game from the one after Christmas, Dave.
Yeah, and like I said, we were better away from home as well, so take that into account. They're on a bad run of form. I think Ross Stewart was massive for them. He was an absolute pain in the arse. Like he was everywhere. He's not just a goal scorer. And I think he'll do well at Sunderland, to be fair. But John uses the kind of wee bounce you get off coming off a new manager. Kind of away now. They were getting beat off Hamilton, I'm sure, as well, and they turned it round. So that was a big result for them. But to get beat off Dundee United are poor, very poor. They've got good attacking players, but they didn't get the ball of them. So I was surprised. I had Ross County on my cooking. I had Livingston on my cooking. I had Southampton to beat Newcastle on my cooking. My cooking at the weekend was absolutely stinking.
Tell me when you're doing coupon, Dave, and
I'll do the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, Callum, it's. I mean, there probably would have been questions asked of Yogi if they hadn't. I don't know if there is even. They're obviously second bottom in the league. Without that Hamilton game where they were getting beat, if they lost that one as well, it would be 4 losses in a row. Obviously, that one's kind of buffered it out, but real poor run of form. In terms of Hibs, do we keep the same team that started the last few games?
I think unless, maybe Irvin isn't quite recovered or what have you, I think there's now not an argument for changing the team, forcing Nisbet back in or that. I think the team, that starting 11 kind of has to pick itself from the whole game against Aberdeen yesterday. We started well, and then we faded a little bit after the first 10 minutes, but then came back into control. So I think that starting 11 deserves to start the game again at the weekend if they're all fit. Yeah,
I'd agree with that. And I mean, Stuart, is it? Are you quite confident that we're going to make it 4 wins in a row?
Oh yeah, you've got to be confident, and
The players will be, because, as Callum says, the team picks itself. You can't change a one inside. So yeah, they'll go up there and they'll come in with confidence. And they'll be laughing and joking again in the changing room because wee Boyle's back on form, and I'm confident. And I don't think Ross County are that great. So I think we'll go up there and get the 3 points.
Dave, do you see it for 4 in a row?
Yeah, I think we'll win. I think we'll win 3-1. I don't know if you're doing predictions,
That was next. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Because I was going to say, because like I'll say 3-1 now, and then you'll come to give predictions in like 5 minutes, and I'll probably say something different. But aye, 3-1. Remind me that I've said 3-1.
Dave,
It was literally the next question,
Next
so
thing.
that's fine.
Dave, would you put Nisbet back in? Just with what you were saying earlier on.
I'm going to completely contradict myself and say no, I wouldn't. Because it's on. That's. I mean, I'm being honest enough to say I was saying that before the game. But after the game's finished, it's kind of like, there's no really that argument there now, and fair play, they've got it right. So, let them rot.
Would Boyle play as good with Nisbet than how he's playing with Doidge? Because Doidge does what Ross Stewart does, a lot
All the
of
dirty
parrying,
work,
chasing, all the dirty work. He's up there with the elbows. So is Nisbet, him and Boyle, do they fit in?
I think.
There you go, Gav.
No, you go. You go.
That Nisbet and Boyle would maybe do all right. Obviously, Deutsch does do a lot more of the dirty work, which is fair play. But I think imagine having the option of Nisbet and Boyle both running onto through balls from Jackson Irvine or Newell or Scotty Allen. Like that to me, it would be key defenders a lot of problems like they do.
But does that not then leave you something like Doidge? Then Doidge will come a little bit shorter when the ball's in the air. I think if you've got the two of them wanting to run through, it's maybe just leaving you short for that other option and the holding the ball off and stuff.
Yeah, but I think I've seen for Nisbet a lot this season that he does come back and like get stuck in as well. He does do a bit of the dirty work. We've seen it, so it's not like he's just one type of striker. But the thing that's been praised about Nisbet is quite all round. But
great option to have off the bench, though.
£3 million striker on the bench. Cracking. Well, we all knew fucking Ron Gordon was going to be classy. I never thought when I was sitting in Mexico and we got the new owner that would be sitting in a couple of years' time with 3 million strikers can't even get a game.
and £1.5 million centre halves as well.
You tell me that, and Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough at the moment. 1-3 on the bounce. We're looking to win 4 on the bounce. It's going to be tough for Porteous and Nisbet to get back into the team. I think, like you say, Doidge, he does a lot of the hard work. He does a lot of the creating space as well for Boyle. He does a lot of clever runs and drags defenders out of space and creates that gap. And I think Cad and Doig do a lot of stuff as well to kind of drag out fullbacks and make a bit of space. So, no, a lot of credit's got to go to them as well. But it's great to see as a team we're kind of doing things like that, working as a team to then create space for our more dangerous players. And it's great to see. So, Dave, you went for 3-1. Callum, your score prediction for the game?
I'll go 2-0 Hibs.
Stuart?
Just going to stay the same. 2-0.
2-0. Aye. I'm gonna go for 3-0. I think we're due to score a few goals but keep the clean sheet as well. So I'm gonna go 3-0 Hibs.
All 4 good for a win. Kim, what's happening, boys?
I know. Okay, so next bit here. Let's have a look. I'll get the graphic changed over. So we have our. We're going to finish up with your guys' questions as we can always do. So get your questions in now. There's a few which we'll kind of come to, but if you've got any other questions, get them in just now in the chats, and we'll kind of come to them. And just to quickly also say, we got Dave. You'll be pleased with this. We've hit 100 followers on Twitch, so thank you for the last couple of follows. BR55 and this thing's too. After this thing's a bit fiddly. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but yeah, thank you for the people that have followed in the last few minutes and helped us get to 100. But yeah, so let's say there's a few questions here. One which I can see on YouTube, which Callum, I'll come to yourself first. Sorry, this was on Facebook. Sorry. Do you think the Scottish Cup will be played to a finish?
No.
On.
Maybe do what they've done last year again and finish it next season. That'll depend on how much they've got left to go, because it was only 3 games last year. So actually, no, I'll change that. No, I don't think it will get finished. Too many semi-pro teams in that still have got games to play and stuff.
Yeah. Dave, you're shaking your head as well.
Yeah, I don't think it'll get played now. They've got to try and finish the leagues in that first before they're playing cup competitions. Like I seen like League One and League Two teams have played like 8 games or something all season. I'm just like, how can they then go and play a Scottish Cup? Not
Yeah.
possible. Just sack it and get us right into Europe.
And you're going to play it, and then then it becomes the logistics about they would need testing and stuff if they're playing teams from the Premier League and things as well. So
Yeah, and we fucking won it already anyway. Who cares? Just sack it. We never need to play the Scottish Cup again. Boring.
Stuart, do you think we could potentially see a thing with 2 Scottish Cups again next year, or do you think this one is more likely to be scrapped, if anything?
Well, aye, possibly we scrapped. I can't see them playing
2 again. But as the boys said there, the Lowland League and the junior sides that are all in the still got to play. You know, their leagues are knackered. My laddie, he plays in the Lowland League, and they're hardly, they're not playing. And as you say, they've got to get tested, and then imagine if they get to play against somebody in the first division or championship in the next couple of rounds. You know, they're all guys. You know, they're saying, they've got the league their work.
Yeah.
There might be furloughs, but they're leaving their work and then going to play, championship players. You can't. There's any people that do it. I don't think they'll do that this year. No way.
Next question here is from King of the North 31. So Super Bowl Sunday. First question is, are you any staying up? And also Billy's asking here, who is the Hibs Tom Brady? Dave, are you staying up for the Super Bowl?
Nah, mate, I couldn't get in wash. Fucking just American rugby, and I can't be bothered with it at all.
American rugby.
Go to your bed and grow up.
Callum, are you staying up for it?
I have tried maybe twice to stay up for it and watch it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I can't understand how a game that is an hour in total it's meant to last, and it lasts about 4.5, 5 hours or something like that.
Yeah,
it's just absolutely. And
So when you
they'll
get to
play.
the last 10 minutes,
Callum. You
Aye.
see the last 10 minutes and you go, yes, I can get to my bed, and then
And there's still an
40
hour to
minutes
go.
later, they're
Aye.
still playing.
It's
They're
just
going,
crazy.
time it. I think,
I'll get up in the morning and I'll watch the halftime show. That'll be about it.
Stuart, are you staying up for it at all?
I don't know.
I might watch a wee bit of it, but I think last year I did watch it, in fact, and it was brilliant because I think it was the last kick of the ball. I'm sure it was really good. But as boys say, it's like, you're like, oh, just blow the whistle, ref, so I can get to my bed. It's 3 a.m. I want to get, but
Are they going to
I
have
was going to
fans?
say I'm not going to get up. I've got my work.
what?
Oh, dude.
Are they
Is
going
that-
to have fans?
I think I read like 25,000 or something.
I might actually turn it on just to watch fans being in the stadium and just atmosphere and just be like, Like,
Watch Australian things because they're actually on top
I know,
of it.
yeah.
I've seen
Aye.
the clips, the referees talking to each other, like the VAR
Yeah.
room talking to the ref. Do you see that?
Yeah,
It was class. I'm like, why do they not have that? It's much more entertaining. Like, I know you probably had a problem that players swearing and it would get picked
Aye,
up. on the ref,
aye,
right?
exactly.
That would probably be the biggest problem. But
yeah.
And the second part of your question, Gav, surely there's only one answer. It has to be Lewis Stevenson.
I was going to go for Dan McGregor.
what was the question?
Who is the Tom Brady? Dave's like, what's a Tom Brady?
Where the fuck's Tom Brady?
He's the quarterback and the sort of captain in a way. But yeah, he's kind of leader, I guess. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers
Wait,
obviously
the
done it for
ball,
the.
Dave.
Aye,
Is he the boy
Um,
that's been in about? He's won about 5 or 6 Super Bowls or something, or is that someone else I'm thinking of?
that's him. Aye.
Yeah, but with different teams, isn't it? Wherever he goes.
No, it was pretty much with the New England Patriots. He won the majority of them.
Ah, right, okay.
Aye. My brother's a big New
Oh,
England
no,
Patriots
you
fan.
don't think the boy.
It was with Miami Dolphins.
You don't think about the guy with
Miami Dolphins, Callum.
I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah, I
fuck
know what you're saying.
But he's been about. Aye, I can. Why are you talking about fucking American football?
that's Billy's fault.
Is Hibs going to beat them?
I'm actually staying up for it. There's a couple of guys that I would tend to kind of. I'm never interested in it the majority of the year, but I've got a few friends that are, and then they kind of do something for the Super Bowl, and I go watch the Super Bowl with them. I kind of enjoy it and go, oh, when's the next game? And they tell me it's September, so I don't bother watching it again until the next year. But yeah, so we're doing a Zoom call tonight. We're going to watch it all together and kind of. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, should be good. So a few comments here on YouTube as well. Got Lewis saying, good to see Martin Boyle back to his best again. Hope he keeps it up. I'm going to turn this mic around so I can look at the questions better. Surprised to see Heart Striker Boyce fronting a Hibs podcast. I've heard that a few times in the last few weeks. Liam Boyce with an apology here. Very good.
Very good.
Matthew says, all right, Gav? All right, Matthew. Let's have a look. So bottom three, played bottom three next. Aberdeen got Celtic twice, so a massive 3 games. Yeah, Callum, a massive 3 games coming up.
Definitely. As we've touched on before, this is the test to see. But in fairness to Hibs, the problem this year has been beating your Aberdeen's, Celtics, Rangers. We've been grinding out results against the lower end teams. That's been what we've been good at this season. That's where we've picked up all our points. So really, that you'd hope that we continue to do that and pick up good points. I think I looked at what have we got to the split? 5 games to the split. Is it 5 games we've got to the split?
4 or 5. I'll check that now. 2 seconds. Keep talking while
And I was thinking you would really want, or is it 6? No, I think we've got 6 actually, haven't we? The games we've got, you've got to be looking at hoping for 14 out of 18 points. To me.
Yeah, 5 games to go. Ross County away, Hamilton at home, Motherwell at home, St Johnstone away, and Livingston away.
Yeah,
Stuart,
I was thinking, including the Aberdeen game, it was 6, and I would like to have seen us aim for 14 at least, and we've got 3 in the bag already. So 11 out of those 15.
Yeah, Stuart, me and Dave on the previous podcast spoke with the other Stuart about how many games points we could get from the A team. We've already got 3. How many points can you see us getting from the last 5 games?
Depends on what Hibs team turn up. I would love if we could get, well, what, 5, at least 11. 11 points.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking 11.
A couple of points,
Yeah.
2 or 3 points. 2 or 3 points, along the way. So say 11. Now, did you not say, Callum, that you were pointing out about on the chat about Motherwell? They can't, or we can't get the top 6 or something. You had so many games you worked out.
Yeah, I think now
playing somebody.
We're now confirmed. I think we're now definite top 6, even if Motherwell won all their games now. I think.
There you go.
So,
Aye.
I mean,
So if we never
got 1 point, they still can't get in. We still can't go under the top 6.
I think that's right. Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, as I keep saying to other people, that the disparity between us and other clubs like your Motherwells and Killies and that financially isn't big. You're probably looking a few £100 a week per player on average. So there will be games where we just don't quite turn up and the other team does. So you probably find out those last 5 games probably will get a loss somewhere. But if we can come away with 10, 11 points out of 15, that's dropping 5 points, which is what Aberdeen are behind us just now. That would mean them at least having to match that. So, which I can't, looking at them in a minute, I can't see it, especially if they've got Celtic twice as well.
Yeah, I think there's a good opportunity to outdo Aberdeen between now and the split, and then have been a really good position going into the split. So fingers crossed for that. Dave, there's been a bit of a chat here in the chat, so I appreciate everyone that's kind of been engaging with the kind of forum there. But a lot of chat about Scott Allen. Where question here from Craig? Where do you see him in this team? Does he get into this team once he's fully fit and up and running? Is there a place for Scott Allen in this current side?
Well, I actually seen Craig writing, what would Hibs fans think if Scott Allen was released at the end of the season? And I would probably be, I'd be annoyed because he needs to get a chance to get back fit in that, and he's good enough to get back in the team. 100%. So I think when you've got a player of that quality, you keep him. Your squad goes weaker, I think, if he is able to get back fitness wise and that, then without a doubt. So
Don't get me wrong. I know, Callum, you've been impressed with Murphy. We spoke about him earlier on. He's kind of got that free role behind the strikers at the moment. But I don't know. I'll get your opinion on this. But to me, if Scott Allen gets back to his best, full up and running, I've got Scott Allen in that position ahead of Murphy. What do you think on that?
I suppose the biggest thing for me is it's a squad game. As we've seen this season, we've had dips in form. We've had periods where we've had several players out injured. So players will come back in and maybe make positions their own. I don't know. At the minute, I think there's something that Murphy gives us different. That I know Scott Allen gives us something different, but we're kind of getting that from Jackson Irvine at the minute. I think Murphy gives us something different from that kind of player. So at the minute, no, I think anyone's got to work their way in. If someone gets a chance, like a Scott Allen or Nisbet or whatever, then it's up to them to take it. But at the minute, this 11 is the starting 11 for the foreseeable to me, without injuries and stuff.
Yeah, I can see that as well. So there's a comment here from Camo 1875 1999. Surely Europe is an attractive for Newell and Irvine signing new deals. We kind of touched on that earlier on, but yeah, I think it puts us in a better financial position. I'm really hopeful. I'm sure this was a question you put in the group chat earlier on, Callum. So I wanted to put it to everybody. If you could only have Irvine or Newell sign a new deal, who would you have sign a new deal? Dave, start with yourself.
Jackson Irvine just brings more. I knew it was decent. I would want the two of them, but that's not the question. So Jackson Irvine.
Stuart, Newell or Irvine?
Irvine, definitely. I love Newell. However, Irvine's he's not been playing many games, and competitive games. I think he was playing friendlies or something, but I tell you, he's got some passing, and Newell wasn't doing that. Newell was putting it sideways and whatever. How many assists has he had? So definitely Irvine.
Gav, because I'm just going to say the now, right? Can you not just kick this belling that's in that Twitch chat out, because he's doing man nothing. I'm trying to read the questions and that, and he thinks he's a comedian, and he's an absolute wet wipe.
Right, I'm not. I've seen some of it, but yeah, we're going to get mods sorted for the next one, so we'll get it sorted for the next podcast.
You just ignore him. Go and have go and get a grip and do something else for your life. You're a pathetic human being.
Callum, Irvine, or Newell?
Yeah, I know it was me that put the question in the first place, and it feels dead harsh because Newell's been so consistent for us this season. But yeah, I think if the club can only push the boat out for one, it would be Irvine. Yeah.
I can see there was some chat about players out of contract. There's a question here about Paul McGinn. Is he out of contract in the summer? He signed an extension, didn't he? It's an 18-month deal. So he's in contract until the summer next year. So somebody here saying about a trip to Anderlecht and about Hibs in Europe was class. I was 12/13-year-old and it was an eye-opening to say the least. Can
imagine.
Craig's also said about the Hibs talk on tour, the flag with the stupid cartoon faces. I like the current badge. We'll get the current badge blown up and we'll get a big Hibs talk on tour badge. The free plug, Casuals Attire is run by a Hibby. He's based over in Ireland. He does really good flags and he's a big Hibby. So I go support him. Casuals Attire if you want a flag made. Really saying Ollie Shaw hat-trick, anyone? Can we see Ollie Shaw scoring again at Easter Road? Obviously a great goal the last time a few weeks ago. Callum, can you see him scoring again?
I hope not, because you'll just be dead smug about it again, Gav. So
shouldn't let him go. Jack Ross said the same. Jack Ross thought he was going out on loan, and then he's away. And he was
from what I heard, he pushed for it. Shaw pushed for it to be permanent. Yeah. So, and you can't blame the lad. He wants to get out there and get regular game time. A loan deal would have meant him going out and then coming back and being in the same position again. So he'll be delighted Ross Stewart's away, because as soon as Stewart got injured, that's when he got his chance. So, good luck to him, as long as it's not this weekend.
See, I can see there's a few people said in the chat about offering to help out with moderation, so I'll give you a message for that. I appreciate that, so I'll message those people there after we'll finish recording. But yeah, just sort of scrolling through, try to find a couple of questions there. But yeah,
Luke asked, where's Rangers talk this week? But has he no seen Callum's t-shirt? Like, Callum's came on a Hibs podcast with an orange t-shirt on.
To be fair, I was wearing
Yeah,
this.
you were wearing that,
Yeah.
because otherwise, before we started recording, I would have told you, mate, you can't wear an orange top.
Says the man wearing a blue top.
Aye, but it's no, it's like a bluey grey.
He does blue top Callum.
It's lighting in here. But Liam's been banned. He's not been back on since he showed he had orange football boots, mate.
Right, all right. I'll put this. I'm roasting, but I'll put this back on for you then.
Fine, mate. I'd rather you
Dave.
sweat it out. It's fine.
There you go, mate.
Or you can go skins if you want.
I'm definitely not doing that.
Taps that.
That's no. Nobody deserves that.
I know we need folk to subscribe to Star. Get tits out.
Start my OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, I can see there's been a lot of chat in there. We'll kind of get the moderation sorted
go,
to
Dave.
kind of get questions that I am a bit more straightforward going forward. But yeah, thank you for those that have kind of put in their questions. So we'll finish up there, guys. Dave, what's your plans for your Sunday night?
Is there a game of football in the now?
Yeah.
Who?
Aye,
It's Chelsea and Sheffield United.
Oh, aye.
No, I've not watched that.
I think it's 1-0
For Chelsea, I think.
You can go for a nap, Dave, and then wake up for the Super Bowl.
No, I don't know what I'll do. Probably nothing, mate.
Popcorn out, Dave.
Nothing special, mate.
Stuart, your plans for tonight?
8:30. No, nothing. Just I think I'll watch a wee bit of the Super Bowl just to see what it is. If it's shite, I'll just turn it off and go to my kit. I think that's it. But no, nothing. Got to get ready for work in the morning.
Callum, busy Sunday night ahead?
I'm off for the next couple of days because for Alex's birthday tonight.
Nice.
Maybe watch a movie or something. I'll just go and pour myself a wee rum and then see what happens. Aye.
Sounds good. Yeah, like I said, I've got the Super Bowl. Still got to have dinner. Because I meant to try and have it before, but I wasn't organised enough. Surprise! So chicken lasagna tonight. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, so gonna make sure that's ready and then have that for dinner and then stay up for the Super Bowl, which I'm looking forward to. Kind of just sort of, I'm more looking forward to catching up with a lot of guys that I would usually see a lot more if it wasn't for COVID. So yeah, it's rubbish that it's over Zoom, but looking forward to catching up with some people. So yeah, and off tomorrow and then back to work on Tuesday after a week off.
So tomorrow, Gav, are you using the time to put your application in for the job at Hibs?
No, I'm happy with my job. I'm happy doing this.
Don't leave us, Gavin.
I did see somebody sort of tagging that, so thank you for that. But yeah, I'm quite happy doing this. But yeah. So yeah, we'll finish up there. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and follow us on the social medias at HFC Talk. And if you've enjoyed this sort of live things, we're on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live as well for that. So you can follow us there. All that nonsense. But yeah, so we'll finish up there. Thanks to all the guys for coming on. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Gav.
Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week. Cheers.
Bye.